right, everybody, I will call the April 14th Reading Select Board meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi there, the room is still muted, the select board room.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie.
Perfect. All right, overview of the meeting, 7:05 public comment, 7:20 select board vote to reorganize, 7:35 town manager report, 7:40 community spotlight, 7:45 discuss and vote on VASC application deadline schedule, 7:55 discuss and vote on Arbor Day proclamation, 8 o'clock discuss and vote on parkland acquisitions and renovations for the community's park grant for pickleball courts to be located on Simons Way Range Road and designated of said parcel available for active recreational use. 8:10 discuss liaison assignments. 8:25 discuss and vote on board ethics and protocol signing. 8:35 discuss 2026 Select Board Retreat Agenda. 8:50 liaison reports. 9 o'clock future agendas. 9:05 approve March 10th, March 23rd, and March 24th meeting minutes. 9:10 executive session, purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with all bargaining units pursuant to Public Employee Committee PEC agreement, and then to return to open session if the PEC agreement is executed, announce of an agreement and general description of terms in open session. And that is it. So first item is public comment. Anybody in the room? I assume that's you, Kendra. 2 minutes, name and address, please. Yep.
Kendra, you might just want to put your microphone on. There's a button if it's not green.
Oh, it's green.
There you go. There you go.
Yep, you can hear the echo. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to bring to your attention
Just name and
something that's
address,
been-
sorry. We can restart. Just name and address in the beginning.
Oh, Kendra Cooper, 20
you.
Covey Hill Road.
Yep.
And I wanted to bring to your attention what the Board of Health and Sal must, I would assume you know this, the Board of Health's new regulation, which is called Section 26, Feeding of Wildlife, and then the process that they went through to create this in 2025, and only revealed to the public when it was a public notice. It was put in the Reading Chronicle in February 11th of 2026. The Board of Health minutes, so that was the legal notice. And also on February 11th, that's when they released to the town clerk all of their minutes for 2025. So nobody would know anything about this regulation until that happened. Some residents have been told to take down their bird feeders, while others have been told that having a bird feeder is okay. Nobody knows what's going on exactly. And in March 26, citizens began receiving cease and desist letters with fines of $50, $100, and $150 for allegedly violating Section 26 that only became public on the 11th of February of 2026. Section 26 did not appear in the town bylaws and regulations on the website until March 16th of this year, after I complained that people couldn't find the regulation. And I've had a bird feeder since the 1980s when we first moved here. I've recently found myself subject to a $50 fine for allegedly feeding the wildlife. And this is the picture that they included. It shows in the snow with all the snow that we had the beginning of March. And that just shows turkeys on my neighbor's fence. So it's been very frustrating to get something like this. And I have requested since the 10th of March a public hearing, which I just got notice today around 3 o'clock from Ade that the hearing is tomorrow by Zoom at 7 o'clock. And, we've been asking, and we've written, and we've had specific questions that we had, but I'm aware that these residents have been fined, and, and I encourage people to read the text of Section 26, because now it is online if they can. If they can't, that's others. But I trust that the Board of Health you're going to be appointing people, I'm assuming, because now you're here, and
Your
and that
2
the
minutes is
wildlife
up, but
situation
I'll make
is a
sure that
problem.
this gets handled, Kendra, because
Yeah, I mean,
had
well,
no
it's-
clue what you're talking about.
There's kind of an unknown group of people, and
Yes.
I did get this thing in by certified mail, which says that they were unable to obtain a signature. We were home. You know, I mean, so we don't know what happened exactly, but we are very
will-
concerned that people are having.
Jane will definitely follow up, and we'll be in
Okay,
touch.
let's get.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else in the room? Anybody online, Maddie? Oh, wait, sorry. Going back into the room again. 2 minutes, name and address.
Bruce Cooper, 20 Cover Hill Road, Reading, Mass. I just want to point out that I don't think there was a real effort to inform the public of the regulation that was approved in an August meeting. They could have done more by publishing it in the paper, writing an article about it, sending out with your water bill, just doing various things like that to make people aware that that's something to worry about. You know, we didn't have any worries. In November, we were on Seek, Click, Fix for our property being a known feeder of wildlife, turkeys, basically. And then in December 3rd, we received a notice in the mail, a little kind of a kid notice that said Mass Wildlife does not approve of feeding birds, feeding wildlife and that kind of thing. And yet they could, and Kendra took that down and said, is this really from the Board of Health? And they said, yes, it is. But the thing is, they could have given her the regulation because it had been approved August 14th. So, you know, that was another missed opportunity to let us know about it. So really, when we got the notice and the cease and desist, that was the first time I was aware of the Regulation 26, and just feel it was poorly communicated to the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room? Anybody online, Maddie?
I don't see any members of the public with their hand raised, but Karen does have her hand raised.
Karen, I was going to give you an opportunity after I had finished, but if you want to go first, that's fine.
I just wanted a moment of personal privilege, if that's okay, to thank the staff.
Yep, yeah, I was getting to that, but yes, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, well, I'm just pleased to thank the staff and all of our volunteers. I know they're paid in some respects, but really they're volunteers. These elections are a lot more complicated than they used to be. I was out speaking to a lot of people, and people did know the election was coming. So I just wanted to say kudos to staff for all of the outreach, the social media, the various forms that went out there. I do believe the message was heard. I believe results were up this year over last year a bit, and that's always good news. And again, with the early in-person voting had to be staffed for the week, the mail-in ballots growing every year, and then the day of the election itself in our newly refurbished field house and all those volunteers and all that coordination by staff, just kudos and thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Karen. Anybody else online, Maddie? That's it?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okie dokie. Yeah, and as for me, as my last meeting as chair, I just want to thank all the candidates that ran this year. Tony DeRezzo, he put himself out there. Obviously, Carlo as well. It's hard for anybody to do 6 minutes up here. It's hard enough to do 6 years like he did. So I appreciate him and every other volunteer that volunteers their time, even if it's for a meeting or two, a year, 20 years. I truly appreciate that. And then obviously we have a new member, Sal Bramante. I'll give him a moment just to introduce himself to the public, to all of you, if you don't know him yet. So Sal, if you have anything.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I mirror what Karen and Chris said. You know, I appreciate all the town support and all the people who put on the election. Takes a lot of work. I really appreciate everybody who puts themselves out there and run. It's not an easy thing to do. I learned firsthand, you know. I really have a lot of confidence in this board, though, that we're gonna have a great 3 years for me and whatever everybody else has left. I'm gonna put my 100% in to change things that have been going wrong and work together with everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Sal. And then last, I want to also thank Karen Herrick for, she got reelected, and her 3 years upcoming here on the board, and offer you an opportunity, Karen, if you had anything else you wanted to say regarding, or are you all good with what you already did?
Well, thank you, Chris. I'm pleased to be back. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years and the year in front of us and working with you all. Thanks.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And last but not least, this is Jane Wellman's first meeting as town manager. She will tell you technically it's tomorrow for some bizarre unknown reason. But today, we're bending the rules. So thank you, Jane, for your potential next 3 years as well. And with that, I will turn the gavel over to you for reorganize.
All right, thank you. All right. You've given me the gavel, you poor people. Okay, so I would like to open nominations for the chair of the select board. Mr. Haley, do you have a nomination?
I would nominate Melissa Murphy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I would love to nominate Ms. Karen Rose Gillis.
Thank you. Nominated by Ms. Herrick. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Sal. Okay, are there any further nominations for the spot of chair? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to close nominations.
Motion to close nominations for chair.
Is there a second? We're being really formal.
That wasn't written down.
No, I know. I jumped in with an extra motion there for you. Sorry about that. All right. so
Seconded
that
by
was-
Melissa.
Yeah, seconded by Melissa. All right, we're going to roll call to close nominations. Karen, how do you vote? Karen Rose Gillis, how do you vote?
To close them?
Just to close nominations.
Yes.
Okay, Melissa?
Yes.
Christopher Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Bermonte?
Yes.
And Ms. Herrick?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to take a roll call vote on these two nominations. When I call your name, please state the candidate that you would like to vote for. Okay? All right. Ms. Herrick, for whom do you vote?
So we're going to do 2 votes at once. Point of order, point of information.
Yeah. Yep, we're going to go right around, and you'll vote for either Ms. Murphy or for Ms. Rose Gillis, and each person will vote for whomever they want, and we'll have 3 votes at the end of that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I have appreciated the work that Karen Rose Gillis has put in as secretary. And I think that she would be great performing as chair this year. And so I would love to cast my vote for Karen Rose Gillis.
Okay. All right. Sal Bermonte, who do you vote for?
This is a hard decision. Obviously, I think whichever way we land, we're going to have 2 strong leaders. But I vote for Melissa Murphy.
Okay. Christopher Haley, how do you vote?
Melissa Murphy.
Melissa, how do you vote?
I really would like the opportunity to be chair, but I also know that Karen would also be a strong leader, and I'm hoping that, maybe she could be vice chair, but I am gonna vote for myself. But also I'm hoping that in the future, Karen can be and will be chair, because I think she'd be a great leader for this board.
Thank you. And Ms. Rose Gillis?
I'm going to vote for myself. I also repeat what Melissa just said. So, I think the town's in really good hands regardless of what direction we go in. So,
Okay,
there we go.
thank you. With that, I would like to congratulate Melissa Murphy as the next chair of the Reading Select Board, and I shall turn my brief session of the gavel over to thee. There you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, everyone.
You have to give it
Don't you want to bang the gavel now that you have it?
Bang the gavel?
Hopefully
I think
we
you
don't need
do.
to do it often.
You gotta do it,
You
do it at a
just
good
need to do
moment.
it.
A good moment. There you go.
If we could just do a acclamation motion of support for Melissa Murphy
Very
as
nice.
chair.
Is there?
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, sure.
Basically, it's just, even though the vote may or may not have gone one individual way, we can vote potentially in unison of support showing, that this board fully supports the board's decision in Melissa Murphy as chair. That's all. So another opportunity. It got done in 2021. It may have been done since that, but that's what I would like to do. So motion for acclamation vote for Melissa as chair.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose-Gillis. We can just do a hands.
Yes.
Chris Healy?
Yes.
Sal Monte?
Yes.
Karen Herrick?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now we will do any, I want to
Vice
say,
chair.
Open
I know,
nominations.
I want to say recommendations, but that's not what I'm, nominations for vice chair. Does anyone have a nomination? Sal?
I'd like to nominate Karen Rose-Gillis.
I'd like to second that. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair? All right, and we will do a roll call vote. Karen Herrick,
Yes.
Sal Bramante,
Yes.
Chris Haley,
Yes.
Karen Rose-Gillis,
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. Great,
Thank you.
thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
I appreciate it.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, I think we have good things coming, Karen.
Yeah.
And now we will move on to town manager report.
Secretary.
Secretary.
Oh, God, I forgot there was a third. Any nominations for secretary?
I would like to nominate Karen Herrick for secretary.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Sal
Thank you,
seconding.
Sal.
I'd like to nominate Sal.
Okay.
Should we give reasons? Are we not there yet?
I
can
can
do whatever you want.
second for Sal. We could, why don't we vote? Karen, do you have any input on your nomination for secretary, or Sal, that you'd like to add?
I'd be happy to do the job.
Okay. And Sal?
I'd be happy to give Karen the job.
Okay.
Did you say you'd be happy if Karen did the job?
Give Karen the job.
Oh, okay.
Decline the nomination?
Yeah.
Are you
I'm gonna
declining?
do roll call vote like Jane just did earlier. I think it kind of speeds the process up. So if we'll just go around and say who we are supporting for secretary, then we'll do roll call vote that way. So
Just decline.
I was kind of joking.
I know, but I think it's still nominated because the nomination.
No, if he declines the
Right.
nomination, you
Are
don't have.
declining the nomination?
Sure.
Okay, so roll call vote for Karen Herrick as secretary then.
Yes.
Karen Rose-Gillis, yes. Christopher Haley?
Yes.
Sal Bramante?
Yes.
Karen Herrick?
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. Okay, so now we have 3 women leading the charge. Isn't that
go.
amazing?
Perfect.
Sounds like a good year.
It's gonna be
Well,
a good
actually
year.
4.
Four.
They're in
yes.
charge.
Sal and
They're in
I-
charge.
I'm going to scoot closer. You can come down this way now, Melissa.
No, it's fine. We don't need to move anywhere tonight, but thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay.
We are now going to move
So
on.
I have to give up the secretary position now?
You do?
Maybe not tonight, considering Karen's not here and you have everything in front of you. I mean, Karen, that's
Do you
totally
have
up to
things
you.
with you?
If you want to email me quickly, I'll just open them up and I'm happy to do it. It's up to you.
We can have Maddie. Maddie's online. Maddie, if you can email Karen Herrick the motions, we'll be good to go.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you.
Maddie, can you just confirm?
Yep, I will do that right now.
Thank you so much. It's hard to like run the meeting and also do
Yep.
things at the same time, so
Answer questions.
Maddie does a great job.
Thank you, Maddie.
Okay.
All right, on to town manager reports.
Thank you. So first of all, congratulations to Karen on your reelection and welcome Sal to the board. I look forward to a very productive year ahead. We have a lot of work to do together. So a few highlights I'll take you through. Last week, I signed the contract with Republic Services. It's a 5-year contract, and staff started working today on the automated collection that will begin in early July, working with the vendor. They came in, they had a long meeting today, working out the operations side of how that will look. And then last week, several of us visited the new municipal recycling facility in Peabody. Maddie, can you pull up that slide? Now I have visual props for the town manager report. So I'm sorry in advance, but we did post this on social media the other day. It just takes a moment to pull up. There we go. There it is. And next slide, please. So this is their facility. It's all indoors. It's a 3-story machine. The machine is 3 stories tall inside this building. This is where your single stream recycling goes. If you do look on our Facebook page, you can kind of zoom in a little bit on the pictures. But on the right-hand picture, there's a gentleman standing on the right-hand side. That's your single stream recycling. It's kind of ground down a little bit. But it goes through conveyor belts. They have AI scanners. They have little puffs of air that they shoot off thousands a minute to separate the recyclables into different types. And then if you look, the picture on the left, it's hard to tell, we're standing in front of cubes that have been compressed, and then those cubes are sold. And so when we talked to you about the year-long process that we did to work on our contract, one of the things we talked about was the value of Reading's recyclables. And the product that has the most value is paper, our cardboard, which is called OCC, old cardboard. And then there's old box board. So anyway, I don't make up the 3-letter acronyms that were used here, but it was a very interesting day. It was great to see this new facility that was just recently reopened. It was incredibly clean, and apparently they really worked hard to clean it. Even though it's brand new, it's been in operation for a few weeks. Most people don't rinse their recyclables, we found out. You don't have to, but they love it when you do, just so you know. I also forgot that I'm afraid of heights until I got up on the 3rd floor of this machine. And so that was really very, very exciting moment for me. So I've learned my lesson, but it was really fantastic to see kind of where all our recyclables go and how they're handled. Really, really fascinating. Last week, I had the privilege of serving lunch at the Killam School with some of our police officers and Deputy Chief Amendola. The look on the kids' faces when they walked in and the police officers that are all there was absolutely fantastic. And then they went and sat with the kids while they were eating lunch at each of the lunches, and that was just super cool. I did do a little of that. I was not nearly as impressive because I was not in a cool uniform. And then after that, I attended the pre-bid site walk for our contractors that will be bidding on the Killam School project. So that was very exciting. Speaking of our projects, if you can change the slide. This is your first look at the ReCal and the pickleball site. Our contractors have been working on tree removal to prepare for construction, and so this is what it looks like right now. They've been taking down a lot of trees. So it's really something. Can you change the next slide? There you go. That's looking down Range Road with Burbank on the right-hand side. And you can see a crane there. So they're getting the site ready to prepare for construction. They've been doing a great job, and the contractors are getting along just fabulously. They're really collaborating. It's a really nice group of people that we have there. We are, on Monday, the YMCA held a meet and greet for myself. Chief Clark and Assistant Chief Keogh joined me, as did Melissa, to meet residents over coffee. We had a great turnout, and I'm grateful to the Y and John Feudo for their generosity. We are hosting an information session for the Property Tax Worker Abatement Program on Tuesday, April 21, from 1:30 to 2:30 at the Pleasant Street Center for those who would like to join the ranks of this program. Today, I recorded my first podcast episode at RCTV. You will see if it's worthy of releasing. The working title is Reading Between the Lines, because who doesn't love a pun? Okay. I like it, yeah. The podcast is meant to be a short, unscripted conversation format of what's going on in local government. The first episode is general, just introducing this topic. Future podcasts will be topic-driven. I'm very thankful to RCTV, and particularly Angela and Rob, for making it so easy and fun. Rob was there. He was great. Angela sat with me and sort of talked with me. They have Sound effects, we deployed some sound effects. I touched nothing. Angela did it all. And we recorded it, so it'll be on YouTube. And it's meant to, it's meant to be light, but we will get into topics that I'm asking the public if they have, sort of mysteries of town hall that they are looking to, like, what really happens when we, clear the sidewalks of snow or whatever. I'll bring in the experts and we'll give people all the information. And if people have ideas, they can email me at townmanager@readingma.gov. And then finally, as part of this whole transition process and, being available and accessible to residents, I set up office hours for folks to come meet me both at Town Hall and the Pleasant Street Center. Town Hall will be the last Thursday of every month, except for next month, May, which will be the third Thursday because I'll be out of town. And these are up on the website and in the Town Manager Minute. The Pleasant Street Center will be on Tuesdays, Tuesday, April 21st, May 19th, and June 16th from 1:30 to 2:30. So that is the Town Manager Report. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have community spotlight?
We do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Karen, I see that your hand's up.
Thank you. Before we move on, I met with a group of residents last week, and they asked me about the availability of the urgent texts on trash and snow and things like that we send out to people proactively, whether it's possible to have those in different languages. This is a group of folks that English is not their first language.
Okay.
The languages there would be a lot of interest in Reading would be Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, Mandarin, and Haitian Creole.
Okay, that's great information. I will follow up with staff and see if we have that availability to do that, and if we don't, we will follow up on that and see what we can do to provide multiple languages. So I think that's important.
I think they would
So thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. That's a great point. I don't know if our system, Code Red, has recently upgraded, and they were bought out by another company. We are using that. That's up and running. We've all been trained on it, and it's better than what Code Red was before. Oh, so I'm hopeful that there's a language component as well. But thank you for raising that. That's fantastic.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other?
Community spotlight.
Yes.
So I just have one tonight, and this was someone else's idea, but I thought it was fantastic. Tonight, I want to highlight Eileen Barrett, who organizes and manages the rotating art exhibit in Town Hall. So tonight, we're highlighting a volunteer. She's been putting up art in Reading since 2018. First, it was the Art Walk, then the Downtown Reading Art Walk. And she's been putting art in Town Hall now for nearly 4 years. It started under Fidel Maltese's leadership. The latest art exhibit that went up just a few weeks ago is now the 8th one that she's done here in Town Hall. She organizes all of the information to take them down, bring them up, contacts the artists, arranges for the pieces, and she works with another person, Karen Samadas, to help her with all the hanging. And so we happen upon them as staff when they're doing it, and we admire the artwork. It's located for folks at home between in the corridor between sort of this side of Town Hall and the other side of Town Hall near the building department. So it brightens up that area. It's really fantastic. She brings in about 15 to 20 pieces, depending on the size. And sometimes the pieces are available for purchase as well. And I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for her work and to all of our artists who participate, because it brings so much color and creativity to Town Hall. Especially on gloomy days, it's nice to look at the new artwork. And that sometimes it's textile, sometimes it's quilts, sometimes it's different kinds of painting and drawing. It's fantastic. If folks are interested in participating as an artist, they can contact Eileen directly at draw01867@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, we are going to move on to 7:45, discuss and vote on volunteer appointment subcommittee VASC application deadline schedule that I know, I believe Jackie and Jane worked on.
We did. So this is a request. I need to make this bigger so I can see it. And Maddie is on here, and she worked with Jackie as well. to come up with this, but this is an effort to streamline our VASC process and eliminate last-minute scheduling chaos. What tends to happen is we put out a call, we get applications back. Jax works with VASC to schedule all of their appointments. It's lots of people, it's a lot of time. And then we get last-minute applications sometimes. And then that messes with the schedule for VASC volunteers. So the request here is to tighten it up and basically have a deadline. There is no deadline right now. So that's always the question is, well, do you have a deadline? Well, no. So then it just kind of elongates that process, just tightens it up a little bit. So the proposal, Maddie, if you can increase the size of that image, it's totally impossible to see. There you go. The application period that we normally have, the annual application period, is in the middle of the chart. That is April 1 to deadline. She's proposing for May 31st. That would allow interviews in the first 2 weeks of June, and then the select board could do their appointments in the second meeting in June. Then we would have 2 months of the summer, and then there would be another application period for open seats that would go for the month of September. And then you'd have interviews the first 2 weeks of October with appointments at the second meeting in October. And then the winter application period would open, so you'd have November and December with no application period, and then you'd have a new application period January 1 to January 31 in the same process. First 2 weeks in February, you'd have your interviews, and then you'd have the appointments at the second meeting in February. So that's the proposal for the board's pleasure.
Any input from board members?
Karen, I can see your hands up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of having a deadline, and then the other component of it is just keeping in communication with our chairs and committees. I believe an email went out to all the volunteers recently, and so I feel like the committees are not always aware when things are coming, and people that are thinking they want to re-up or they don't want to re-up or they want to make a move. I think accompanying, firm deadlines, we do it so many times, X many times per year, and here's the deadline for the applications, will definitely make staff's life easier. But then also just sharing this calendar with the boards and committees will also help.
Karen or Skills?
I really like this schedule. I think that Jackie's a rock star for organizing the way she does. Melissa and I have had a great year of doing this committee, and I'll do anything she wants because she is phenomenal. Super organized, makes it so easy. I think that one candidate, I agree with Karen about the communication. We had one candidate who applied and he had been accepted by CPDC maybe, and he hadn't been told that he was on it, so he'd missed a couple of meetings. He didn't really know, and then yes.
Permanent Building Committee.
But thank you.
Yep.
That's right. It was one of those.
Yep.
And so that kind of tightening up that communication part, I think would be super helpful. So I'm really excited about this. I think it'll make a huge difference.
Great suggestions.
Sal, Chris, have any
Yeah,
input?
I'm a huge fan of deadlines. I like the structure here. It's really good. I think it'd set us up for success,
Chris, anything?
All good.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. Doing BAS for the last 2 years, Jackie is a rock star, especially the June timeframe when we have to do all the interviews, and getting those all organized and sometimes having late applicants, it does make it tricky. So I love this idea. I think it will be great. Just great communication for all the boards and committees, like Karen said, and for us in the town, for everyone. Residents now know there'll be a deadline, and it may take a session or two for everyone to get acclimated to it, but I think that this will make it much more streamlined and easier.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
Is this graphic going to be on the website? Because I think that might be very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to vote to adopt it, can we do that?
Yeah, there is a vote.
There's a vote, yeah. So if you vote to adopt it, I'm sure Jackie will be pleased to put it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll also push it out onto we'll push it out onto social media too, just to let folks know, hey, if you're looking for an appointment this June, reappointment, or to join a committee, now's the time. The window is open.
Yeah.
Agree. Chris?
If I may interrupt really quickly, Jackie is actually online and her hand is raised, so I think she has something.
Oh, I'm just gonna, 1 second, Jackie, I'm just gonna let Chris speak. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, if we do put it online, just crop the photo so it's more legible
Yeah.
instead of the zoomed away version, but other than that, it looks great.
Of course.
Jackie? Sorry, I did not see your hand raised.
Quite all right. Thanks so much.
Oh, there you go.
I just wanted to say that, yes, I do plan on putting it on the website, on the volunteer page, on the FAST page. And I was also going to, so I'm actually working with Laura right now to revamp the application to make it, digital with the ability to print it out. So it's going to be a lot more versatile. It's going to be a lot more streamlined. And I will definitely put the timeline so that anyone applying will know when the deadlines are.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jackie, I appreciate that. Yeah, Sal?
you.
So I was just looking at it, and I don't know if we wanted to try and put a week between the deadline and the first interviews. Kind of seems a little,
I guess,
I don't know, I'm just a suggestion.
Jackie, how do you feel
Jackie.
about that? Because you're the one that's scheduling it, so it's really on you.
A week between the deadline and,
The first interview.
yeah, so actually, even for the annual ones, the interview window is actually May 15th through June 15th.
Got it.
So I can
Okay.
start things, in May, but as long as I have the deadline of May 31st, then I can wrap everything up and everything can, be consistent in June. So that way there's no last minute additions. So it is a tight timeline, but it's,
I'm just suggesting just for you. It makes
Yeah.
no difference to me.
but it's also for, vast member availability, applicant availability. So trying to accommodate everybody as much as possible. I do appreciate it though.
No problem.
Okay. If we have no further discussion on this, will I have a motion? I guess I should have said one additional thing. Tonight, I don't know if it will be on the next agenda or not, but I would like to pause public comment after agenda items for right now until we can have a board discussion about that going forward. So I am going to pause that tonight, and then I'm hoping to have that on the next agenda so we can have a board discussion about how we all feel about public comment after each agenda item. Do you have a motion?
Am I reading them?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I apologize. Karen, I apologize for
That's
that.
okay. Not at all. Move that the board approve the volunteer appointment subcommittee application deadline schedule as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose Gillis. Do we have any further discussion? If there's none, we'll do a roll call vote. Karen Herrick,
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis,
Yes.
Sal Bermonti,
Yes.
Chris Haley?
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. Perfect. And now we will move on to 7:55, discuss and vote on Arbor Day proclamation, April 24th, 2026. Karen, do you have the proclamation?
I'm just scrolling through the packet.
Okay.
If it's in the packet, I got it. Page what?
Page 7.
7.
Okay, that's easy because my links aren't working. Okay. All right. Let's see. Put this back. Okay. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, beautify our community, and wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Reading has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation, for the 41st consecutive year and deserves to continue its tree planting ways. Now therefore we, the Select Board of the Town of Reading, Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the town of Reading and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations.
Thank you, Karen. Does anyone have any input? Karen?
I just wanted to do a promotion for our Arbor Day tree planting event that's happening April 25th. Flyers should be online at the library and a sign up in 2-hour increments to kind of spread out the joy, as they say. Bring a shovel and pray for sun.
Great. Anyone else have any?
I'm good, yeah.
Karen, do we have a motion?
Yes.
Thank you.
Move that the board proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the town of Reading.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. And if any further discussion, we'll do a roll call vote. Karen Herrick,
Yes.
Sal Bramante,
Yes.
Chris Haley,
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis.
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. And Karen, are you okay if they stamp this, or would you rather them wait till you can sign in person? We have
No,
a,
stamp is fine. Thank you.
and I'll
Can I
just,
just ask a question about what's in the packet?
yeah, sure.
The Tree City USA application checklist?
It's
That's
just
just
informational.
Information.
Just, those are all the
To
things.
fill it out, Karen.
Yeah, no, those are all the things.
Well, I want to say I was checking things off to see if we
Okay.
complied.
I did not, we're applied, we're very proud to be a Tree City USA, one of the earlier municipalities in Massachusetts to be.
Interesting.
And our tree warden takes it very, very seriously, all of the tenets of being a Tree City. And, you know, he's remarkable. If you ever get a chance to go for a ride along with Mike Hannaford, it's an education because that man knows every street tree in town. He knows exactly where they are. He knows the last time he inspected it. He tests them when people have complaints or they're worried that their tree isn't healthy. He tests them. They'll take down trees that aren't healthy. They'll replace them. We have an amazing forestry department.
Going to give tours?
I mean, you know, he might. You can come with me, and we'll get a tour. No, but he's really fascinating. He's done a lot of work with the emerald ash borer, taking down trees. It did a lot on Memorial Park last year. He always tells us in advance so we can warn residents because sometimes it's alarming when a whole swath of trees gets cut down. And he waits as long as he can with those emerald ash borers until they start shedding branches, and then they have to come down as a public safety issue. But yeah, so we take it very seriously in town,
That's great.
as some people may know.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Board.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. One item on that, we are having a tree planting in honor of Arbor Day with Noresco, which is the organization that we signed with 15 years ago to do energy savings in our public buildings. That's why we have these energy-saving lights in Town Hall, in all of our public buildings. They will be putting some banners out, and the banners will move around to different public buildings, to schools and town buildings, that highlight the savings that Reading has achieved over 15 years. And they're going to do a tree planting over at the library, and our tree warden has worked with the library director to schedule that. So I think that'll be coming up on the 24th, that workday. The 25th is Saturday.
Okay.
But I'll get the details for that and I'll let folks know. So it's cool. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Lots of tree planting happening around town, which is always good. 8 p.m., discuss and vote on a parkland acquisitions and renovation for Communities Park grant for the pickleball courts to be located on Simon's Way, Range Road, and designation of said parcel as available for active recreational use.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have Andrew McNichol with us tonight. There he is on screen. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us. He was teaching a class earlier today. Is that correct? And so he is not here in person because he went home right from the class. Yeah, so he's super cool. But this is, we received a $100,000 park grant. And this grant, if you scroll through the packet, this is the agreement we're going to ask you to vote on and sign tonight. It still has to go to town meeting. But town meeting does get a vote, but this is one of the boxes we have to check. Accepting this grant of $100,000 does require us to do a couple of things. It requires us to separate this parcel of land, subdivide the pickleball courts from the recal parcel. So right now, it's kind of all one big piece of town land, but we're going to separate that, and it will be kept as recreational use in perpetuity. And then part of that requirement is that a piece of that parking lot will be subdivided to go with that parcel of land for parking. Part of the requirements of the park grant is you have to have some parking that's kept in the parcel with the recreational item, if it's courts or trails or whatever it is. It doesn't change our operational plan to have pickleball parking in the Burbank lot. As we all know, we've gone through working through that agreement with Burbank. This has nothing to do with how we will operationally manage it. When people book their courts, they will be directed as to where they're supposed to park their cars. This is so that in the future, if the Recal Center were to be sold, and that part of the parking lot would be sold, the pickleball courts and the adjacent parking, it's identified here, would be kept in perpetuity for recreational use. So even if you can even imagine the day when pickleball is not played, and I block your ears, Ms. Janowski, if that ever were to happen, that land would have to be used for some other recreational purpose. So that's what this is seeking to do. This organization, the state is saying, you can take our money, but you have to keep it in recreation forever. You can't just turn it over in a few years. So that money goes further, goes longer. And so I'll just turn it over to Andrew. That was my intro. If you can make clear anything I got wrong, that'd be great. Start with that.
No, you nailed it, Jane. Good evening, everyone. Just a few additional things of note for what I'd say are conditions of the grant award is that future changes to the property, even if they are outdoor recreation based, right? If you want to change that to another type of court system or trail system or other, you do need approval through the Secretary of the EEA to do that. The land must remain publicly accessible, thus the parking Jane was mentioning, including to non-Reading residents. If there are fee structures for the park, the EEA will review the fee structure, and there are limitations and upper limits to the differences you can charge to non-Reading residents. I believe that upper limit is about no more than 50% increase than what Reading residents would pay. So for an easy example, if the fee was $10 for Reading residents, you could not charge more than $15 for non-Reading residents, 50% increase. So otherwise, the CPDC did endorse the subdivision plan last night so that there is in fact a parcel, if town meeting votes to approve, there is a specific parcel and lot line for town meeting to vote on for that outdoor recreation in perpetuity. So we would record that along with this project agreement at the registry, so all is on file with the address and the property itself going forward.
Thank you, Andrew.
Any questions? Karen?
Do they have a requirement for how much parking you have to provide for the lot?
There's not a hard count. They look at reasonableness, and the parking we had proposed and where the lot line was acceptable to them.
And then can you expand the plot so that maybe in 10 years from now we decide we want to expand the plot and get more grant money? Or is that too much?
You'd virtually be looking to seek another grant and dedicate another parcel, and even if it's in common ownership, you'd be doing a similar process in terms of establishing a new lot. A lot of that back area is, of course, the wetlands, but you could expand to the west potentially one day and seek park grants, and then similarly put it in perpetuity.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Chris?
Thanks, Melissa. Is this going to April town meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So we closed the warrant and this was part of it. I vaguely recall this.
Yeah, what article is it, Andrew, do you remember?
11?
Yeah, I think you're right, 11.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else? Sal?
So if pickleball was to go away someday, I know nobody wants to go away, but what size is this lot? Like, could we put in a baseball field? Could we put, what else could we put in that lot?
It's about 1.1 acres, so it could be outdoor courts. I don't know if you could fit a full baseball field in there, I would doubt it, but potentially anything like lacrosse walls or other, if the school system had a need for that, something like that, that maybe you could convert to that type of use.
Right. I just want to know. I wouldn't want to be pigeonholed into just one certain sport. If it's
No, not a certain sport, just outdoor recreation in general.
I meant more the size. Like a football field, or you couldn't put a football field.
No one.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
My only quick question is Andrew, I assume the rec department knows that fee structure and they're okay with that?
So, yeah, Recreation heard town meeting loud and clear. And they also are aware of this fee structure. They've been, right, Recreation applied for this grant with Andrew.
I
so,
assume, but I
yeah.
just
Yeah,
wanted
and I
to.
don't think it's too far different than what we've normally done for fee structures anyways in town.
Right.
Perfect, okay. Karen, did you have any questions? Oh, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna just make a comment. I'm in support of this, and I hope town meeting agrees. And what's remarkable about this is that only a few short years ago, when we were first talking about pickleball demand in the town of Reading, the state was not wanting to grant fund these projects. There was a lot of controversy. So I don't know how many other communities have convinced them that we have selected a location that is not going to result in chaos within our community, a lot of backlash. But I have to think that it is remarkable that we were awarded this grant to begin with for pickleball, since some communities were getting grants and then the courts would go up and then the neighbors would be very upset and the courts would be shut down. So kudos to staff for getting this done, because this was just surprising, given some of the concerns about maybe a way to phrase it is not enough thought being put into appropriate locations for pickleball. So I think that's good. It's great news for Reading. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Madam Chair, if I can just speak to that. You make a great point, Ms. Herrick. When we did the site walk with the state for this project, I said, I know, because in the past we were denied for the park grant, and I said, I know you guys don't approve pickleball, but we think this is really about general wellness for all ages. Like, I was pitching hard for this grant, right? And Andrew knows I was bringing it strong, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then she's like, oh, we're getting tons of pickleball applications here. I'm like, what are you talking about? So, I would say Reading was sort of ahead of the curve. We tried to put it in Birch Meadow, but we didn't get the grant, but also we decided not to locate them there because of the noise. So it really, even though it's delayed us bringing pickleball to Reading in this sort of fashion, the timing has been right, and it's just great to have a grant to support this work, and the donations that the RPPA have given, as well as the way we funded it locally, so.
Yeah, absolutely, I definitely agree, this is the right location.
Yeah.
Without building it all and then having neighbors complain.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Karen, do we have a motion?
Yes, we do, and it's rather lengthy. Let's see. Okay. Move to find that an approximately 1.1 acre portion of 0 east of Haverhill Street, as shown on the definitive subdivision plotting plan dated March 20th, 2026, is surplus to general municipal purposes and available for dedication by town meeting as recreational land, and further to authorize the town manager to execute a grant agreement with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts under the Parkland Acquisitions and Renovations for Communities Park grant program relative to such parcel.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. We will do a roll call vote. Karen, Herrick,
Am I sound on? Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis,
Yes.
Chris Haley,
Yes.
Sal Bramante,
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. Thank you, and we have a document to sign. Karen, are you okay if we stamp it again? Or town
Yes.
staff stamps it, obviously?
Andrew, do we need a wet signature? We'll hold off. We'll make sure we don't need a wet signature first.
Oh, okay.
If we,
Yeah, I can confirm that quickly tomorrow.
yeah, thank you. So Maddie will just hold off on the stamp until we know for sure.
Thank you all. Jane, see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
There's no-
Have a good night.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay.
Perfect.
What are the flights?
And then you just sign in the, there's like some
Sign in
negative
the-
space.
In the blank space, I sign my name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Taylor Swift.
Thank you.
I instructed
Thank
the new
you.
guy to do that.
Good
Yes,
night.
thank you. Would it be known?
8:10, we are going to move on to discuss liaison assignments. So we're just going to discuss and go through what we have, and, you know, if anyone's looking to make some switches, if Sal has some interests in any of the various boards and committees. I do think that we should add one. I do think that we should add a liaison to the Disability Commission.
Oh, good
The
idea.
Commission of Disability. I did talk to Albert about that. So I do think that that's one we should add to our list, which I do understand. I think I counted it's between like 48 and 57, because some of them have 1 and 2. Liaison, so I know, assignments, so I know it is a lot of work that we all put in to these various assignments, but I think if we each can do between 9 and 12, it kind of spreads everything out, so everyone's kind of doing their fair share of work and keeping up with all the boards and committees. But if anyone wants to start on anything they would like to continue with, they would like to pass on to someone else or anything like that.
Oh, and just one thing, Madam
sure.
Chair, you mentioned adding the Disabilities Commission,
Yes.
so thank you for that. Albert's aware of that.
Perfect.
And he's grateful for that. 2 other pieces, the CPA Study Committee is almost wrapping up, so I
Yes.
don't know if you want to,
Yep.
how you want to handle the liaison.
And charter review.
Yeah, and then, exactly, charter review. And then the RMLD commissions and CAB, that has 1 liaison right now. I spoke with Ms. Herrick, she can obviously speak for herself.
Yeah.
But she said that really should be 2 people.
Okay.
Or it's kind of the same thing. There's some
Oh, yeah.
repetition there, so it's a lot to sit through for 1 person, but it's educational. So however the board wants to handle those 2 pieces.
Great.
I just wanted to bring that to you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So do we know if CPA will sunset? No, because it will depend on what happens at town meeting, correct?
Yeah, in November, right? Well, no, they're meeting right now with, town meeting is coming up, and then the vote will be in the
Yeah,
fall.
the vote would be in November.
Depending on what happens.
So maybe we should keep someone on that. It should be a pretty light lift after town meeting, I would think, but
I would think so.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to step up for that. I wasn't sure whether we wanted to continue it, but I'm happy to do that.
yeah, I think we should just keep someone on it just until it sunsets.
Which one is that?
CPA.
CPA. But if anyone has any they want to step down from or that they would like to join, please feel free to speak up.
I have a few highlighted.
You have a few highlighted. Go, Sal.
So I have RMLD,
RMLD, yep. Is that the RMLD commissioners and CAD?
yes.
Okay, perfect.
I had Reading Ice Arena.
Reading Ice Arena. Yep, we can put 2, so we'll put
I had
you.
Animal Controls, Appeal Commission.
Animal control. Yep.
Committee's met once in 10 years.
That's a light lift.
And I didn't know that. That was-
Just,
Moderator and Town Meeting Rules Committee.
Perfect.
That's a thing?
It is.
Yeah,
did that get
Board of Health,
perfect. Board of Health, where are you?
Recreation Committee.
Recreation, Board of Health. Where are you?
Now, I don't know what the CUST is abbreviated for, of Soldiers and Sailors' Graves.
Custodians.
Custodian. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to. CPDC,
Yep.
Historical, and Permanent Building Committee.
Permanent Building Committee, yep.
That's all I had.
I'm, Sal, I am happy to take myself off that if you want to
Sure.
put yourself on that, but I have to. Anyone else have, Chris, Karen, or Karen have any changes that they'd like to make to what they have currently?
I'd like to do VASC for 1 more year, but somebody has to replace you.
Yes, that is, yes, I need to step down from Basque. And so Karen Rose Gillis will stay on for a year, just because I think that makes sense how we,
Yeah, 2 years at a time, I think works well.
yeah. Would anyone like to step up for Chris?
I would recommend that Sal consider it. It is a great opportunity for a new select board member. A lot of us start
I agree.
our first year.
I think it was a really nice way to get in and meet people and.
I'll definitely do it. Do you mind, Chris?
Great, thank you.
I was going to offer because I'm coming off of charter, but if you want to do it, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So, okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it is, I agree. It is a great way to get to know a lot of the boards and committees members or chairs and just kind of what they all do. So it is a great starting point when you get on the board.
Are you going to stay on RCTV?
Yes.
Okay.
I will definitely stay on RCTV. I feel like I've put some.
Karen, are you interested in staying on Climate Advisory?
I am.
Okay.
But we could have two there if you like.
Yeah.
It's fine. I was going to also suggest if Chris has a little bandwidth that, what was I just thinking? I have a hard time making the library trustees meetings. I can't make them very regularly because they're at the same time as the Council on Aging. So if you wanted to do that with me, that would be super helpful. They are short meetings.
Are they Zoom or no, are they only in person?
They're on Zoom.
They are on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yes, they're Zoomed as well.
Did they start at 6:30 or 6, or am I misremembering this?
No, they start at 7. Council on Aging starts at 6. They never wrap up by 7. So last night I was like starting at 1 and finishing another, and it just isn't a good look, even though it's a good reason. And so because there've been more going on with the Council on Aging, I've had a hard time making the library trustees meetings. Albert presented last night. It was a good meeting.
Yeah, I'm fine with going on that then.
Chris, Haley.
Do we only have Sal on Recreation Committee right now? Because it says 1 or 2.
I believe we do only have one on there right now.
Okay, so I'm interested in adding that.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd like to stay on the Housing Authority. I'd like to stay on the Housing Trust. I'd like to do Disability Commission.
Yep.
I'd like to stay on Town Forest and Food Pantry. And Pear, I think they're going to start back up again.
Pair on here. Are there any that you'd like to come off of? That's an easy way to do it.
Did you, Sal, did you want to do Council on Aging? Because you and I had talked about it a little bit. I mean, you're on a lot. I don't know if that's something that you're interested in doing, because I do enjoy it, but I don't.
Is that 1 or 2?
8, 9, 10.
It's 2. It's with Karen Herrick, but I think it's a really important
Yeah, I didn't
group.
do it because you two were on it, but if Karen wants to give it to me, I'd do it to you. Or are you trying to give it? Yes.
I was just.
Different Karen.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
Karen?
no, I know. I mean, I'd like to have you get involved
sure.
in the community, and, as much as it breaks my heart to give things up, I'm certainly a team player.
Yeah.
So,
Karen loves her liaison reports.
that's true. I do love that.
You can come whenever you want.
So it's hard for me to give it up.
Yeah,
But I
sure.
wanted to kind of, it's a really wonderful group of people, and they're very active this year with
Sure.
Recal.
So I'm not sure which ones I'm getting, so I mean, I could,
Okay.
definitely work one of those in.
Okay, so I guess
100%.
Melissa will be a good judge of
Yeah.
what's
Yeah, I
too
think-
much and what's not enough.
Yeah, we can count them after we, I'd like to go on Finance Committee if that's okay.
So typically the chair is kind of by default. We did
Okay.
it differently last year, so yeah, I mean, I believe it's in our policies or it's stated somewhere. Maybe it's in our policies.
Oh, okay, perfect. So that works out well then.
Karen, do you want to stay on Burbank? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to be
Okay.
invited to a meeting.
And then Sal's also going to be on.
Right.
That'd be great.
I was going to offer myself up for Burbank as well with Sal.
Okay.
Totally up to you guys.
It's actually up to you.
Oh, well, I mean, it is a light lift for the most part. If, Karen, can Chris go on Burbank?
I would love to be invited. I would love to move forward with the Reading Ice Arena Authority. I think we can do a better job, but I'm going to need some help from them.
Help me understand what you mean, I'm sorry.
They don't invite us to their meetings.
Can't we just show up?
They don't
think
publicize the meetings.
Private, I don't think.
We can try again. We should just ask again and
I would say Sal and me.
So,
That's what I
Madam
would
Chair,
like.
Yes. Jake.
sort of ancillary to this part of the conversation,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Maddie and Jax. They don't know I'm going to ask them this because I haven't told them. Sorry, Maddie. Sorry, Jax. Once you decide on the appointments and you let everybody know,
Yep.
we will send a notification of everybody's liaisons, so you'll have a list for yourself.
Okay.
So you don't have to rely on just this list, it's a lot.
Yep.
We will also notify the chairs of all these committees, of who their, and the staff,
yep,
who their
who their
liaisons are,
liaisons are.
that they're to
Yep.
work with, that they should let them know their meeting schedule and so forth. And then I talked with IT today to see if we can somehow automate so that we ensure that you're getting the notifications. And the best way to do that is sort of through the website. So you can subscribe to notifications for your different boards, but I want to make sure that is working the way we want it to be working on the back end. So I'm going to peek at that a little
Okay.
bit. So we'll do that.
Which I think will be awesome.
Yeah, that way it's just a little bit easier when some of these don't meet very often.
Yes.
Right? But you don't want to miss it if it's once in a while.
Yep.
But I will tell you, Sal, that with the Animal Controls Appeal Committee, you'll get a call if we have to convene that one. Yeah.
I don't think it's often though, right?
I think we've had it once in 10 years.
I'm excited.
I mean, it's never good news, Sal.
Did you say once in 10 years?
Yes.
Because you have to have an issue that has to be managed by that. It's
Wow.
sort of like a hearing kind of thing.
Okay. Karen, sorry,
yeah,
Karen.
that's okay. I was just going to ask. So, how often does the RCTV Board of Directors meet generally?
RCTV meets once a month-ish.
Okay. So Burbank has told me they meet 4 times a year. So, okay.
Yeah, they don't meet every month.
Yeah, no.
So the, Karen Herrick, I thought I was the liaison for the ACE committee, so I've been going all year.
Oh,
I had no idea I wasn't. So
where
are you-
is that?
Surprise.
It's the Bill Russell Celebration Group.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, so
I'm going
I
to
popped in and
continue
out of there.
going.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that all right with you?
It's not a quorum. I have gone to some of the ACE events and the ACE meetings, but I think Wednesday night is a busy night. I think they conflict with the permanent building committee meetings, and that's
They might. I
been
used to
tough.
have a conflict with Eastern Gateway, but we sunsetted, so it's no longer a conflict.
yeah.
So
No, that's fine. I cannot make every meeting. That'd be
thank
fine.
you very much.
Yeah.
There was one more. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm taking up all the time.
Yeah, no, don't.
Zoning Board of Appeals, it says 1 or 2. Do you think it needs 2 or is 1 enough?
I do think one's fine. It's pretty low maintenance. Their meetings are fairly short and pretty quick.
Okay.
To the point, and it's usually more, residential stuff that I don't really I don't think
Yeah.
you report here.
Okay.
Unless they were doing like more town stuff, in my
Okay.
opinion. I wouldn't
Okay.
report residential stuff, so.
And then Historical says 1 or 2. I'd like to jump on that one with Sal if that's okay.
Yeah.
And there's actually 2 different historical.
Right.
Yes.
Who's got the other one? Chris?
Chris.
Chris.
Okay.
Yep, he's got the district commission, and then, let's see, so was there any missing? Board of Registrars.
Yeah.
I don't think they meet that often, I can take that on.
Yeah, that would be with Laura.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm happy to take that on. And then, bylaw committee. I can take that as well. I think we've gotten them all covered, and I can go over this list with Maddie or Jackie, and then we'll bring it back to our next meeting for a vote. Does anyone else have any other changes or comments?
I don't think so.
Good.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Now we will discuss and vote on our board ethics protocols and signings. This was actually an idea that was brought up by Jane. I think it's a great idea just for all new board members each year when they come on to the select board to, have this, review it, and then, we're just all agreeing to it. Tonight, I wasn't going to go into any changes we may want to make to this. I was thinking that maybe that would be something we could approach or talk about at our retreat. But if anyone has any feedback, I wasn't going to read it if everyone's read it. But any feedback?
I thought it was a good idea. I think it's really nice for us to revisit every year. It's like taking an oath again, and I think it's important.
Agree.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and I'm glad that you brought this up, Jane, and, I look forward to more discussion at the retreat.
Thank you. I thought this would be a nice way for the board to come together right after the election, just reaffirm your belief in this protocol. It was written a while ago. It was updated in 2021. I think we started this work before the pandemic to create this. So, and for the public, it's available on the select board page of the website, so folks can dig into it if they want to.
Great. Karen, do you have anything?
Nope,
Okay,
looks
great.
fine to me.
Great. Fantastic. So we'll pass this on. Oh, we do have to
Do a
vote.
motion?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Thank you.
Move that the board acknowledge and sign the select board ethics and protocols as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. Any further discussion? We'll do a roll call vote. Karen Herrick,
Yes.
Karen Rose-Gillis,
Yes.
Chris Haley,
Yes.
Sal Bramante.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I'll come in and sign this one in ink, wet sign it.
Perfect. Thank you. I was just going to ask you that question. Okay, so we are now moving on to 8:35. We are going to discuss our 2026 Select Board Retreat and agenda. Did you have anything to add? I think you reserved a date.
We reserved a date, May 2nd, so that's right smack in the middle of town meeting. It's a Saturday morning.
Yep.
We are going to be in Linfield at their location where they have their PEG access television station. And that is approved through Rob Dolan, who is the town administrator. He's great to work with. We'll bring in breakfast and lunch. The public is welcome to come. It's a public meeting, but it's off-site, which is the novelty is nice for board members to have something a little off-site. And so the discussion that we're asking for tonight is to come up with some broad strokes on the agenda. These are broad topics.
Yep.
One of the things we want to talk about as staff, we'd like to talk about with you is FY28. Even though we're going to town meeting to approve FY27 in a couple of weeks, we are looking ahead to FY28 and our financial future. And our department heads are already starting to look at that. Our CFO, Sharon Angstrom, is starting to look at that with us. So we want to put the select board kind of position you ahead of that whole process so that you have a chance to kind of ask for information, dig in on what you want to do, and then if we need to take any action in the future, what that might be as we're getting ready to put our budgets together for FY28. So that's one item that could be looked at. Board goals, goal setting for the board is something that we've done in the past. That's really sort of how I have a methodology I've done personally, but we do have Jeff Nutting, who's a retired town manager, who will be the independent moderator, and he's great to work with. So we could do some goal setting for the board. You could do goal setting for the town manager. That's one thing that can be done too, and we can bring examples of what other towns do for goal setting there. So those are just three items. They're not, the FY28 is the one I think is really important for the board to get involved with. So, but the board may have other ideas.
I agree. I agree that FY28 is definitely an important one for us to discuss. Anyone else have any input on potential or things that we should be discussing at the retreat?
So,
Karen?
I have a few things.
Yep.
You covered one of them. And I think that the board ethics and protocols covers some of the things, but I feel like we might get into a deeper dive on this document and maybe talk about the policies and tone of meetings. And I do hope that we can have kind of a fun portion of getting to know our select board members better.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
I think that would be a really nice way. I think if we're all in a good mood, discussions open up organically, and I think it's just a good way to kind of get the discussions going, because we are all people and have families, and some of us know a lot about people and some of us know nothing. So I think it would be a nice way to reacquaint ourselves with each other. I think that maybe a discussion about how to get town residents more involved that are the quiet part of town. You know, we always hear from the loud, super engaged group, which is fabulous, but there's a lot of people that are in the middle that are not as engaged as, so I don't know if we can have some brainstorming sessions on getting more information out to people, getting more engagement, getting more people to vote, that kind of a topic.
Okay.
Social media policy discussions thrown in there. Just, we all know I'm not on it, but I know it's a big part of our world. And so I think that there's plenty of places to talk about that.
We're actually developing a policy. It's almost done.
Ah,
So we could bring it to you to review. It's for staff. So you may want to have one for the board.
But it's a place to
Or
start.
not, but we have one for staff and we can.
Good place to start.
Yep.
Communication was a thing for me between board members, town manager, staff, committees, to kind of avoid the miscommunication. It kind of came up with the field house work, and some things got disseminated before town manager knew. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to kind of have like a really understood chain of command of who disseminates the information when, so that we are all under the understanding that if I get information first, I'm not going to go run to my mother and say, oh my God, look at this, I should be running to you to tell you, and then you can decide who gets to hear about it when. 'Cause
Run to me.
I'll run to you.
I like it.
That's pretty much all I got.
Great. Anyone else? Sal?
Yeah, I really like the team building, exercises.
I agree.
I think if we, build a strong team, board, we can get a lot of things done.
At the MMA conference, I don't know if Karen was at the session with me or not, but they had a whole bunch of people on the stage, and they were having a chicken wing competition eating thing where it was
Hot wings.
the hot wings. It was
we not
really
do that?
funny.
I'm in.
No, I do that. No hot wings for you.
No hot wings.
It was really fun. It was really,
Yeah.
because when you're in that moment of hot, you just aren't thinking about what you're talking about. And but there was great information given, because they were just trying desperately to get the milk or whatever. But it was fun. It was really engaging.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Chris?
I would recommend just having like a Red Bones in Somerville eating competition, if you want to do that. Instead of chicken wings, Red Bones, yes.
It could be cupcakes, who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
Have you had Red Bones in Somerville, Karen?
I have.
Pretty good.
Yeah, okay, well,
I'm
I didn't expect that
surprising you.
answer.
I can surprise you.
That is surprising.
Karen Herrick?
Yeah, I'm concerned about this date. This is a very busy time of year for me between family and work engagements. I've said that before. I need to know the time on this retreat, and I need it to be as compact as possible. And then, aside from that, I'm asking if this can be on Zoom. Some uncomfortable discussions have happened in previous select board retreats, and we are going to be discussing business of the town. And I'd like it to be recorded on Zoom if possible. I'm not comfortable attending a closed door meeting at this time. If we get through this one and we can all be really civil, then it'll be different going forward. But this is not a great time for me. I have responsibilities, but second of all, just the transparency of recording it on Zoom, it is a huge priority for me in order to participate.
Okay. I believe last year it was 9 to 12.
I want to say it
If
was
I'm
like-
just basing-
Did we start at 8?
We started at 8.
Okay.
And we had lunch.
Yeah, there was breakfast when you came in.
Yeah.
And then we had lunch, and lunch was sort of a casual conversation. It wasn't like, you know, and I could also invite maybe the new superintendent to join us, or we could have some special guests come. We also have a new director of RMLD, so I don't know if they want to come out on a Saturday, but we could invite them to join us for lunch, something like that. But I don't see the Zoom component as a problem, and also if it records it, we can have the Sparkle notes on. And we'll get the AI, we'll take minutes as well, but we'll have, you know, more of a transcript available. It's not usually the typical thing that's done in a retreat, but I think if it enables it for a member to participate, and, you know, Karen, if you have something come up, you can come on and you can pop off and come back in if you need to.
Yeah, that's true. I could catch up.
That would be great, just to be able to accommodate as many people as possible. So we can make that happen. I'll figure out how to, I don't know if they have a Zoom room like we're accustomed to here, but we will do everything we can to make that possible for a member to come on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think, so we just had, does anyone else have any input on just topics for our retreat? No. Okay. I just think that the only thing I kind of piggybacked on a lot of what Karen said already. I think the only thing I would add that maybe we would like to discuss, although, you know, it may be too cumbersome, but not only our board ethics and protocols, but maybe our select board policies. If anyone wants to look at those ahead of time, and maybe if there are any changes or suggestions that we want to bring to the agenda, to the retreat, that may be a good time to talk about those too.
So proposed changes in advance, and we'll put that in the packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that just because I feel like it's a topic that I think we've all talked about at times of, you know, things that should be changed or added or taken out, and regular meetings that just doesn't really end up getting on the agenda. So I think it would be great to be able to discuss that there as well.
We can discuss that. I think that's great. And we can also talk about structures that enable these things to happen with less friction.
Yeah.
So the board may want to create, school committees have this all the time, but the board doesn't have a policy subcommittee. But you may want to create a policy subcommittee that you have two people who are working on board policies. We're doing this with valet parking right now.
Got it.
And so, by the way, we need a new person appointed to valet parking. But so, yeah, so we can do that as well, but we'll discuss that at the retreat. I think that's a great idea.
Yep. Does anyone else have any input on that? Okay, let's move on. Right?
Great. So we've captured that, and we'll follow up on that for you.
Yep. And then we will do liaison reports. Karen, would you like to start?
Love to. Thank you so much. March 26th, I attended the Women in Leadership conference that was held by the Office of Equity and Social Justice at the library. Thank you to Albert Plus. It was a really great evening. Great panel of speakers, including our very own Jane Wellman, Deputy Chief of Police Christine Amendola, Liz Whitelam, owner of Whitelam Books, Pastor Mary Curlew of the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd, Sarah Samuels, a partner at NEPC, and Alyssa Spinelli, who is the community leader and currently Vice President of the Women's League of Reading. Great discussions, great questions, a poet laureate that was, I wanted to cry at the end. She was fabulous. From Lynn. I do not recall her name, and he got her at the last minute, so I'll have to ask him. And a wonderful cellist, a young man who was so great too. Albert found wonderful people to help with it. April 1st, we had our first working group for valet discussion with staff and police and fire departments. Very animated discussion. It was a lot of questions went back and forth. A lot of information was exchanged. I assume that everybody's working on their parts and whatever they're doing. April 6th, Town Forest Committee. I already talked about our big Arbor Day planning. We discussed recent birdwalk event that was very well attended, and Dave Williams has added a few more dates during the migration season. Please refer to the town website for updated list of dates and reservation spaces. April 11th was the first invasive species removal day. The event It will take place the second Saturday of each month from 9:30 to 11:30. I showed up at 12:45 and missed it, so I clearly did not read my notes very well. But anyone can remove invasive buckthorn at any time while walking through the woods. Just contact any member on the town forest or even me, and I can figure out, talk about how to do it if you're just walking through the woods. There's a lot of it, and they'd love help removing it. On April 7th, I attended a meeting here at Town Hall with the store owners regarding the upcoming Haven Street landscape project. It was a really good meeting. Town staff was fabulous in making the presentation to store owners. Really good questions from the store owners on how it's going to impact them, and lots of discussion of how to make very little impact on them. So I think we're off to a good start on that. Town election, thank you incredibly much, as we said earlier, to Laura Gem and her staff and the volunteers for the service that day. It ran smoothly and it was great. I think we all attended the virtual hearing on the 9th of the I-95 improvement project, which was a lot of information. I'm looking forward to it since I have been rear-ended in that section of 128 myself. Looking forward to it smooth up the road. Council on Aging meeting last night, a really deep in-depth discussion about the PBC updates, the room divider, use of common spaces. They discussed trust funds, the original intentions of and how they're being used now and in the future. Update on programs. They've got a lot of participation that just keeps increasing every month. And over 300 people have registered using the new system, which is really, really great. Tomorrow, I'm attending a seminar through the MMA on the top 10 wish list of the internal customer. So basically talking about staff, and I think it would correlate to everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Chris, you want to go?
Yeah, I feel like saying ditto, but I did attend the 95 meeting as well. There was lots of good questions asked on there. So hopefully, I'd like to snap my fingers and have it happen, but, I'm sure it's going to be a nightmare while they're doing it. So I also was at the Commissioner of Trust Funds inaugural meeting of this year kind of scenario. We discussed that we have to switch vendors that we're holding the accounts from Wells Fargo to somebody else because they're getting out of the town government municipal aspect of doing trust funds for whatever reason. But the bigger thing is going over the hospital trust funds and seeing potentially how we can go forward with that and ask for another, whatever that word is. What's it? Not special act, but
Home rule petition?
something that will enable us to broaden the hospital trust funds, the currently what they are, beyond the current scope, because we can't burn through the interest as fast as we can spend it. So something along those lines, and that's going to be an IVRIA and then trust fund discussion kind of scenario, and who pays for it and all those fun things. There was an election, yes, so thank you everybody that obviously ran and all the volunteers that put the election on. Here in Reading, it goes without saying every time that, we have the most efficient, safe, secure elections in Massachusetts here in Reading, and I have full confidence that Laura handles them the way that they're supposed to be handled. So that's my aspect on the election. And then April Fest is on Thursday, 2 days from now. So hopefully it's not raining. I don't know. It's currently raining. But the weather currently for Thursday is, I shouldn't have mentioned it. So yes, come to April Fest on Thursday and bring a poncho. Off to you, Sal.
Sal, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Nothing, all right.
You will, don't worry, quickly.
Yeah.
Karen?
You're on mute, Karen.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, got it. So I also attended a part of the Council on Aging meeting last night. Thank you for covering that, Karen. I wasn't able to attend the 95 Lane edition, but I did already get a call from a resident asking, what is that going to do? Are we trying to draw more people into the Eastern Gateway area? How are we going to balance that? And actually, the key question was, are we feeling like the state is keeping us in the loop as they move on these plans, or are we the last to know? So that was from one resident. I was able to attend the Library Board of Trustees last night, where they had an ACE committee update. And so the ACE committee has one final event in May before the Juneteenth event. And so I encourage everyone to attend that. They've been terrific. This next one is going to be, I forget if it was a book or a movie discussion. That the past ones have been movies and documentaries about the relationship between Red Auerbach and Bill Russell. The Office of Equity and Social Justice also updated the Library Board of Trustees, and they were reviewing their mission to make sure it supports all residents. Albert explained to the Library Board of Trustees that he has now taken on the ADA coordinator responsibility, and it did not include a pay raise. That's pretty funny. And yep. So, and he talked a lot about the listening sessions that his office has conducted with the staff, and with the goal being how to create a sense of belonging among the staff. And there were numerous sessions and 98 participants. So I was impressed that people were willing and able and excited to participate in that. He mentioned that phase 2 would be the implementation, coming up with department goals, individual department goals. He also mentioned that our Disabilities Commission will be having their first meeting on 4/23. That's really, really excited. And Karen, to your point earlier, Albert did announce that PAIR will be being relaunched in June 2026, and he's very excited to get that group re-engaged. And they've submitted a grant to MAPC to help for some of the activities that they are undertaking in the Office of Equity and Social Justice. Juneteenth will be our 4th annual Juneteenth community event, will be held on June 20th, so you can mark your calendars. And he updated them. I understand, I was unable to attend the women's leadership event, but he reported that there were 70 attendees, so that's great. And thank you, Jane, for participating. The Library Board of Trustees also updated some history room policies to protect the materials. One thing of note, I didn't really realize that you can have food and drink through most of the library now. I do a lot of online borrowing, but the history room in particular, no food or drink allowed, and they have more stringent policies for getting in there to protect the valuable materials. They're already starting to prepare for the FY28 budget, comes really quickly. The director's report included, and this is a nice tie-in with the COA and the library, because Mahjong has been very popular with the seniors, the Pleasant Street Center folks, and they're running a course there, and the library is also running one. So that's nice to see that overlap, and something everybody should be aware of, so that we're not just creating silos. Very popular. And I also attended at the library last week an English learner program that I referenced earlier, and that was a lot of moms and adorable kids, and I think one dad came, and it was amazing and eye-opening, because the community makeup is changing, and we do need to think about that more than we used to. And the director also reported, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. The director reported they had an event. Someone came and played bagpipes at the library. And apparently, first thing the staff did was run around and make sure they didn't have a bagpipe event planned. And so they did not. So then it was just asking them to please leave. I understand they were, kind of potentially First Amendment right folks, and maybe it's a TikTok thing. So I don't know whether the music was good, but eventually RPD was just called in and asked them to leave, and there were no incident. But that's interesting to know. Apparently they were headed to Woburn after Reading. I was able to attend the RCTV open house. That was wonderful. I appreciated them doing that and inviting us. I was able to participate in the Good Friday prayer walk, which was hosted by, I believe it was all of the downtown churches. There were about a dozen attendees, and it was a terrific walk, starting at the UU Church on Summer Avenue and finishing on the town common in front of Old South. And one of the benefits of this walk, aside from meeting other residents and the worship leaders, were the fact that we could go into some of these churches and take a look at the architecture. So that was great. I hope that do that again next year. It was lovely. And then I did spend a half a day attending the WeMo Leadership Conference in Sturbridge, which is the Women Elected Municipal Officials, where we heard from former ambassador and former Massachusetts Speaker of the House, Claire Cronin, who's amazing. And, she shared some of the things that have made her successful in her career. One of them is being like 6 feet tall, so that's not really going to help. But she also talked about, having real conversations with people and not relying on social media to be an outlet for getting needs and issues communicated. So, that was something she shared. It was terrific. It was a nice location. And then I also had a meeting with the MMA Energy and Environmental Policy Committee. There's every 5 years there's an environmental bond bill, and it's coming up before the Senate tomorrow. Things of note, important for Reading, would be a potential $500 million in MVP, Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program, which, as you all know, helped to fund our Mallet Solms Morgan project. So it would be great if they refunded that, because I'm sure there's other things we need to do. Also proposed $50 million for climate mitigation, adaptation, resiliency, and recovery needs, including the modernization and reconstruction of facilities, infrastructure, equipment, and capital investment. So part of that, to me, sounds like stormwater management. And then an additional $450 million for water infrastructure and water quality improvements, as well as $120 million to support investments in clean water and drinking water infrastructure, and associated with PFASs, which a lot of communities are dealing with, although we are not. But we do have miles and miles of sewer infrastructure that we need to maintain. And let's see. There is a measure to establish an extended producer responsibility for paint, which would help capture and recycle leftover unwanted paint and provide municipal savings. And they're also going to be talking about a new labeling requirement for non-flushable white products. As you know, periodically, I believe it's our sewer stations get jammed with people mistakenly putting white products, and you'll see the town electronic boards telling people to please stop it. So those are the things they're working on. If anyone would like to reach out to their senator, you should do it tomorrow and encourage them to fund some of these important initiatives that we have to spend money on anyway. So thank you, that's it.
Thank you, Karen. I was able to attend the WeMo Leadership Conference in Sturbridge as well. That was my first MMA event, and it was a great one. Like Karen said, Ambassador Cronin was fascinating and just great. I really enjoyed her little fireside chat. I met with Andrea, Olivia, and Kevin to discuss Eastern Gateway, which, I just think that it's a really long-term outlook on things, but I think it will be fabulous for Reading. On April 6th, I was unable to attend the RCTV open house, but I did attend their board meeting where they introduced their new executive director, Deirdre Morales, and their new board member, Alicia Williams. April 9th, we had the state meeting with Mass DOT, as most of us attended. It was interesting to hear that the project will run just from 93 to North Ave, so it is a big chunk of Reading, and like Chris said, it will probably be a little bit of a disaster why it's happening, but I do think it will make a big difference in that area of, making a change with all that traffic, so that's great. April 10th, school committee introduced and just finalized the contract with Dr. Henry Turner, and his contract will go through July 2029. I attended the meet and greet with Jane, Chief Clark, and Assistant Chief Keogh yesterday at the Burbank. Thank you to John Puto for hosting that. And elections, which were ran very smoothly, and I want to congratulate Karen and Sal on your win. And I just wanted to take a second to thank Carlo for his 6 years on the board. He was a big proponent for small businesses here in town. He did a lot for the water and sewer rates, and a big proponent also for second water meters. And he took a big role in negotiating the trash contract when, we really weren't all seeing eye to eye. So I just wanted to say how much I appreciate his 6 years of service here on the board. And that's it. And if we don't have anything else, we are going to move to future agendas. Which, if anyone, we can go, where is it? There we go.
So you don't have a meeting scheduled till May 12th right now.
Well, we have 2 weeks of town meeting coming up. Maybe
That's
it
right.
won't be that long. Does
I
any,
should say May 2nd on here for the retreat, so we'll add that in.
Okay.
And we already have that information here.
yep. And what do you think, you think it was 8 to 1 or 8 to 12 last time?
Maybe it was
I think it's 1.
8 to 1, but that included lunch at the end.
Yeah.
So like the
I
substantive
thought we
kind of
did-
stuff
I feel like
happened
we wrapped
8:30
it up.
to noon.
Yeah.
Wrap it up at lunch, or did we talk after lunch?
No, we did wrap it up at lunch, and I actually don't think it actually went past 1.
I don't remember.
No,
feel like I got
don't think it
everything
went
for
past 1. I think we were packing stuff. It was kind of done, and there was
Yeah.
a photo, and then everybody went home.
Okay, great. Does anyone have any suggestions for upcoming meetings for agenda items? Anyone? May 26th. Anyone? Okay. All right. I mean, if this looks good, and if anyone has any topics or agendas that they would like put on, feel free to reach out to me. The May 12th meeting, I don't believe I will be able to attend. I will be away with my husband. So you will be in charge. All right, so let's move on to 9:45, approve prior meeting minutes. I am going to say I did not look at these beforehand, but I will review them quickly. Maddie, did anyone have changes that they may have sent you?
Nobody sent me any changes.
Okay, great.
I have no changes.
I'm
I read them, but I wasn't there, so I'm not really sure.
Sounds very confident in that.
I'm gonna probably say.
I have faith in you.
Karen, did you have any changes to any of these?
No, I usually send them to Maddie. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. All right, so if we have a motion, Karen, for the minutes, that would be great.
Yeah. Move to approve the meeting minutes of March 10th, 2026 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose Gillis. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Karen Herrick.
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis.
Yes.
Sal Ramonte.
Yes.
Chris Haley.
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes.
Okay, move to approve the meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2026 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose Gillis. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Karen Herrick.
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis.
Yes.
Chris Haley.
Yes.
Sal Ramonte.
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes. And last one, I think there was.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of March 24th, 2026 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose Gillis. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Karen Herrick.
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis.
Yes.
Chris Haley.
Yes.
Sal Ramonte. Melissa Murphy, yes. And I think we probably have a motion to go into executive session.
Yes, we do. Move to enter into executive session under General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, for the purpose of discussing strategy with respect to collective bargaining with all bargaining units pursuant to the Public Employee Committee Agreement, because an open session would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the board, as declared by the chair, to invite the town manager, the finance director, and the human resources director, and the executive assistant to the town manager and select board into the meeting, and to return to open session to continue on with this topic.
Second.
Seconded by Chris Haley. Roll call vote. Karen Herrick.
Yes.
Karen Rose Gillis.
Yes.
Chris Haley?
Yes.
Sal Vermonte?
Yes.
Melissa Murphy, yes.
We are back to open session. We had a very positive discussion, and we look forward to ratification soon, and we will bring an update on that at our next select board meeting, which will be in May.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have our last motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Karen Rose-Gillis. We will do a roll, any discussion on that? No? Okay. Roll call vote.
Discussion allowed.
Karen Herrick,
Yes.
Karen Rose-Gillis.
Yes.
Chris Haley,
Yes.
Sal Monte, Melissa Murphy, yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.